Hello, viewers. Welcome back. And I'm glad we still have you here. You are taking part in this conversation. And we still have Jacob. Jacob is here and he's been giving us some very remarkable insights into the world of project management in the technology space. And I have enjoyed myself and learned a lot. And I believe you are also doing so. Jacob,
Frank.
we are here once again, and we are trying to look at, when you started your submission, you did indicate that you want to give off your best to enable organizations as well as the nation to be technologically advanced, so to speak. We have discussed a lot about organizations. Let's zero in now on the nation called Ghana. When you look at the digital infrastructure of the country, with your expertise, how would the nation leverage on the kind of expertise you have? And just like other professionals who may be in that same space, how would it benefit the entire nation? What would you bring to the table to be able to help the nation advance in terms of digital infrastructure?
Frank, thank you so much. First of all, I want to say that we have to see Ghana as a company. The whole Ghana should be looked as a company, just as we have enterprise systems within every company inside Ghana. Let's now scale it up. We are doing something right, but they are in silos.
Okay.
What it means is that we have to create a synergy on digital infrastructure, which should be owned by the central government or the federal government, where we have a single source of truth. If, as a country, we leverage on this synergy, we realize that our databases will be connected to each other. I know they've started something like Ghana Car Database. We have what we call the NITA, the National Information Technology Agency, which was actually formed to improve the ecosystem, the digital ecosystem of Ghana. If we actually scale it up and then ensure that that objective is being done at the federal level, we will be able to maximize the full potential benefits with what we are doing as a country. That comes to what we call about data. Data is the new oil or the new gold. It's not the galamsey we are mining. Okay. If you step back and look at what information can give you when processed. For example, I take Ghana or Accra, decongestion of traffic can be done by using GIS, Geographical Information System, where all the people of Ghana are sitting on the national infrastructure. So it means that at the national level, we have an AI that can tell you that these people are going to move or close from work at this time. There's traffic going to be here. Reroute these people to this other area. Traffic lights shouldn't be based on the traditional seconds or time that there are sometimes you be in a traffic at a denta, okay, and where there's a lot of cars that must flow, it's red. Where
red.
there's no car, it's green.
It's green.
But where we actually have a national digital infrastructure, ecosystem, smart city, we realize that we can decongest all these things seamlessly. Over the weekend, we know that people may be watching Netflix. Data will be moved away from organizational level to the entertainment side. And we know that the people have actually moved to this part of town. And the president can be able to view this thing at a glance. Then we can really associate or push down the security personnel to those areas where security will be heavily at East Legon, okay, maybe on a Friday night. Meanwhile, the people have moved to Laboni.
Okay.
And we are not able to tell. So we realize that we are misallocation resources at the wrong side because we don't have access to digital transparency or center of excellence to leverage and see how we can zoom in on those data visualizations to give us the right outlook that we're looking for. There are instances whereby the government would invest in planting for food and jobs. Maybe Ghanaians will love eating kenke, okay, or within the region, we don't even want to eat rice. But just because we presume with no data verified, we push in rice.
Okay.
We don't want it.
Okay.
But what is the data telling us? Why are we leveraging on? Why are we actually looking at evoking the next generation of talents by leveraging on the digital economy? We should be able to control what the people hear.
Okay.
That control should be there, not have a segmented market. Yeah.
Now, in all that you have espoused, how does your expertise as a project manager combine with your expertise as a technical IT person come to play? How does the project management skills that you have put you at an advantage in understanding some of these systems that you are suggesting, and how would it help us get a better hold in terms of implementation?
Okay, Frank. So when it comes to let me take it as a journey. Let me take a step back. Okay, for every discipline, you must first of all be an apprentice. Go through the various training, even though you have your eye focused at the top to one day take a leadership role. However, there are standard ways of doing things where when you come and appreciate that governance framework of how things are supposed to be done with mastery already in your apprenticeship work that you've qualified out. When given the opportunity, you realize that you do things not in abstract, but you do things in innovative way, because then you appreciate the discipline, how things are supposed to be done, what is the expected outcome you're supposed to get. But remember that even though there's an outcome that you're looking at, based on innovation, you are able to bring out something that is not even in existence or not within your region, or even discover something new which you have not yet uncovered. So this is how it brings it into the formation of you becoming, maybe lack of a better word, permit me to use one, a complete person within that particular field that you may find yourself. And in all this conversation, we have the national interest at heart, okay, where the national interest that you have at heart still form part of the project management intelligence. The integrity, the professionalism, and the discipline, all of them still form part as an embodied person. You don't do things for doing sake, but you do things because of the interest of the people at heart, and also to ensure that the community would also benefit from some of these new innovative ways of work that we are trying to craft for the future agility of work.
That's very, very good way of going about this work. I'm looking at, as a project manager, how are you able to do things better when handling or when providing some of these solutions at the national level? How would you be able to do things better as a project manager in the technology space? You have indicated your membership of the Project Management Institute, and you do know the professional ethics and all that you have signed up to, and those also guide you. In addition to that, what makes you better positioned with your project management skills, knowing that you will be able to properly negotiate, you will be able to do proper scoping, you will be able to, and all that? Help us understand what puts you in a better position where you are.
Yeah, great. This one happens to be at the back of the project management training. Okay, it's a whole discipline, a discipline with science. One may think that, as for me, because when you give me a particular task, when we say that we at PMI say that any endeavor that is supposed to happen within a specific time frame with an expected outcome, okay, is called projects. So anybody who can do these things is a project manager. No, it's not the case, because once you actually go to the certification, it takes you through that rigorous transformation to appreciate why things are done, why you do what you do, and why you need not to do what you are not supposed to do. and that forms you as a different person. So when you are going in, you just empty yourself and apply yourself to learn a new things.
Okay.
Then you realize that you come out as a new being who now understand the 360 view of a project. So if there's a job and you go and stand there, on top of your head, who has not gone through the process, first knows that, oh, I will take X amount. But a well-qualified project manager comes to stand there. Now he's looking at the economic impacts, the national benefits, the social impacts, and then the global impacts. Okay, then we have a different perspective to how things are done. And the certification is not something that we project managers take for lightly. It is giving you the green card or your trump card to work anywhere in the world and ensure that you do things based on the discipline and the professionalism of the call. It's a calling. It's like a priesthood.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like priesthood.
Okay. So that places you at an advantageous place within the space compared to someone who doesn't have the project management background.
Yes.
I am very much interested in the GIS that you mentioned earlier. And from what you proposed, I see you talking about transportation, traffic management, security, food security,
Data.
and how data can be applied to all these as a nation. Vis-a-vis what we have been seeing, which may seem that we firefighting or we are doing things at a knee-jerk approach. What else can you propose that we can leverage on data to do as a nation in terms of the digital infrastructure?
Okay, so first of all, what I would say is that we have to, as a nation, one company, Ghana, okay? Ghana is a beloved country, but I see it as a company. Let's take a step back and look at the foundation. We have to build our own data warehouse as a country. So as it stands now in Ghana, if you ask that, is there one data stop shop for everything we do that is feed in there? Okay, we have data warehouse, data lake, and all sort of data forest. Okay, let's have that form. Everything that everybody is doing in silos, it should feed into one area. Let's look at it from the sea point of view.
Okay.
We have different river bodies in the country, but at the end of the day, everything connects back into the sea. And we know that whatever happens anywhere, if you don't find it in any of them, we'll go back and check in the sea. It will come there.
Yeah.
When we have the same concepts and the same mindset, and we push everything to one point of view, it gives our leader, our Excellency President, the better view to actually have a good informed decision for the country.
On a single dashboard.
On a single dashboard.
Yeah.
At the Flagster House. And that gives him that comfort, that flexibility. I'm sure now if he wants to see the current asset portfolio of the country, he has to go to the Ministry of Finance or go to Bank of Ghana. He should be able to see that at the comfort of his bedroom. Okay. In the Flagster House. And all these things would actually give him a better insight as to how things should be done, or how we should change, formulate things in that
policies. Order. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So let's assume that you have been given this role as a project manager for the nation Ghana to implement such a system for Ghana. Walk us through in the next few minutes.
This is quite interesting. Maybe it will come to pass. So what we have to do is that, first of all, we have to take a step back, okay, and go back to the core, the foundation, scope it. We have something running, okay, but we have to get an enterprise architecture for the whole country, Ghana, and then do a best fit analysis of the system that can actually be able to easily plug in. Those that cannot plug in, do we have the luxury of resources to change it? Because we are now building a whole infrastructure for the nation. Then we are also going to face it. We are not going to take the whole country as a whole. One of the things I saw about multinational companies do, and they do well, is territory. They are not quick to say that we've changed the whole area at a go, but they are quick to tell you that as for the area zone B, we've done one, we've done 2, we've done 3, we've done 4, and we are progressing. So the same methodology or approach is what we are going to use to ensure that we are not going to take the whole country 100% as a big bang to convert a digital transformation at a go. But rather, we'll take it by pilot territory base and ensure that for these areas, we're able to, so far as you are moving there, we should be able to find you. We are going to leverage on the mask, the infrastructure of the telco, the masks.
Yeah.
Anywhere your phone is, we should be able to tell where you're standing, where you are at what point in time T, and what you intend to do. So we can pick some feed from you. And that is how we'll be able to push our agenda. And then look at it as a, it might be cost heavy, but we have to quickly attribute the costs components to revenue. Okay, and that is where it's going to give we Ghana as a company a business case why we should heavily push into that area of work. And then I think it will even impact the 24-hour economy. Not everybody will come out during the day. And people may come out in the night because their means of extracting revenue for easy livelihood will be in the nights.
Right. So, like I said earlier on, you, as a project manager, you have been given this role and you are telling us some of the things that can be done. You have mentioned NIA earlier, NITA. Are there other organizations or parts of our lives as individual Ghanaians and people foreigners who live in Ghana, other aspects of our lives that you think can be brought into this national digital infrastructure that you are talking about?
Yes. So let me take it this way. There's a rhetorical question. Is there any one system now in Ghana that when you check on it, you'll be able to find everybody's identity? Some will say yes because of Ghana Card. But is it the case that everybody who enters is on it? Before you enter, you must be onboarded by your fingerprints and everything. We know who you are, where you are, and we can leverage on those ones to ensure that we have the complete ecosystem being covered. It's highly possible here in Ghana because you'll be surprised that when you look at even our individual organizations mapped to even the UK, we are more patronizing more advanced technologies than them. But the one that the few they have changed, they are using it in full utilization than us, and that is where the gap comes in. So we have to make a conscious effort, have a mindset change, take a step back, and then put in our efforts that collectively we are going to work to ensure that these things are actually being moved forward.
Okay. Looking at this digital infrastructure, you have mentioned that we can leverage on the mass existing infrastructure for the telcos and all that. Take us through how data and business intelligence can help in this whole regime of national digital infrastructure.
Great. So the national digital infrastructure is the hardware, okay? And for every application to run, it needs hardware. It need the what we call the resources at the back of whether it can run. When the application is running, the application also need data, and that data is being processed into information. Now, when that information is being stored, what are you using it for? That is why we hear data mining. Now, you want to put a model on top of that, okay? That gives you the predefined or some sort of assumption, actionable insight as to what you should look at in terms of what you intend to do. So when you bring all these things together, you form a holistic ecosystem where you can even leverage on it for financial credits. Okay, which areas do I even give credits? Which areas do I even invest in as a bank? Which areas do I even leverage on the telcos to push for my customer segmentation? Where do I even tell my market women to be? Where do I even push all my markets to, instead of having every shop on the roadside? Do we bring all of them together, class as a food market? Because I bring people together to actually do this. Let's even take the power of what we call the mobile commerce in our hands. I'm walking on the street. I know that the next place to cross to the next side of the road I have to walk about 5 miles to
Okay.
the next footpath.
Okay.
But I know how footpaths are being constituted. I know how my bar stops are being segmented. So it actually gives me an easy movement around town. I know that based on the nature of my business, if I come out during the day, my customers will not be there. And I see everything at the power of my phone. And this platform has been created by the federal government where everybody can leverage on and go in and work. So you realize that you're even having a decongestion conversation of traffic from a technology point of view, controlling the people's movement, because if I look at it and I don't have any interest there, why do I go out?
Yeah.
So once we step back and look at the foundation, okay, it may be as little as minimum, but I trust me, that is where the power lies, not in the super sophisticated algorithms at the top, but all opportunity lies in the simple things and the foundations. And that will actually transform the economy that we are actually looking at.
There are some professionals who are still disgruntled that they are not being recognized properly in their place of work and in other jurisdictions. What advice would you give to the government, being the biggest employer and also the holder of the authority in terms of accepting or rejecting some of these things? What would be your advice to the government and then to the CEOs and the top level executives of various organizations?
Frank, it's quite true. Okay, for example, let's take a step back to look at the days of COVID. We have so many wonderful doctors in Ghana who did extremely well, nurses and the whole public health sector. But because we don't have a center of excellence, okay, to no disrespect to anybody, you realize a certain vocation or certain trade that largely right at the back of social media, they get much more recognition by some of these professionals who are also helping us within that same space of work. So if we are able to have a well-defined center of excellence, segmented based on everybody's discipline on industry, and we acknowledge who has done what at the national level, either at the national level, at the district level, or at the regional level, it's going to be good. So that we know very well that everybody's effort is being appreciated, because I tell you, if there was a story I read in a book at NASA, the cleaner at NASA knows that she's sweeping for us to get to space. So when she wakes up in the morning, there's a sense of responsibility that I'm supposed to go and sweep.
So that we can go to
space. We can go to space.
Yeah.
But she's not the one writing the algorithms or the models for us to go to space. But she's part of them working for the people to get their models to space.
That's a bigger
so
picture.
If we run on the same ideology, everybody should be appreciated. Even the traffic controller, the cleaner, the farmer, everybody should be acknowledged, and we should control the scheme of awards that we have. It should be at the enterprise level for the government to validate who is being recognized at what level. So that would be my plea to the government.
Thank you very much. In 30 seconds, tell us, why should anyone get or acquire project management skills? Okay, so it's very simple. You see, to have mastery in your field, you have to understand what we call the higher learning. And the higher learning gives you the bird eye view as to why things are done the way it should be done and why you need to do what you are doing, because at that level, nobody is going to supervise you. It is your integrity and your honesty. And I tell you that the project management discipline gives you that embodiment that transforms you to a new being, more like a superhuman in your field of work to do things in the interest of the nation and your people. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you very much, Jacob. And we've had such a wonderful session. And let me remind you that this session was brought to you by the kind courtesy of Certified Projects Avenue Limited. They are into business and project management consultancy, end-to-end project management advisory, business and project management documentation, and any form of business and project management advice that you may require. We are also coming to you live from the studios of Eagle Eye Projects and Events at Medina. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Let's keep hearing from you. Share your views in the comments and share the links with your colleagues and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing. Thank you very much. See you in our next episode.
Thank you.